Alright, let's see. We live? We live? We're live? Everything looks good? I don't know what's been up with my YouTube lately. Check, check. Can y'all hear me? How's the sound? Mic check. Mic chickity check check 1 2. How we sounding, folks? Give me a 1 if we sound solid, dude. Give me a good old 1 in chat if we're sounding solid, bro. Bueno, sounds good. Alright, cool. Numero unos, yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing on this fine Thursday night? I myself have been recovering from a sinus infection because the pollen hits me hard. It's been killing me the last couple days. I wanted to live stream a couple nights ago, but like literally I've been so stuffy. Like it's just I was like, dude, I can't, like, you can't even, like, my voice just sounds awful. So voice has been awful, haven't been sleeping, so I was like, nah, I don't want to live stream and have zero energy for the live chat, you know? I gotta engage with the audience. But in honor of, you know, Monster Hunter Stories 3 coming out tomorrow, in case y'all didn't see my post, I'll be live streaming that tomorrow. Probably all weekend I'll be live streaming that, so be on the lookout for that. But in honor of that, we're gonna be revisiting one of my oldest series on the channel, you know, the Pokemonster Hunter series. So I wanted to dust off the cobwebs and revisit some designs before I ever do anything new. So we're tackling Nidoking again, you know? We're gonna do a little Nidoking art for tonight. So I don't have to think too much, you know? I don't have to do a whole bunch of, you know, ideas and concepts. I can just kind of free flow here. And yeah, have a little fun while we hang out, y'all. You've had migraines from the weather around here, yeah? I'm telling you. The pollen, like my truck's just caked with pollen. It's disgusting. I hate it. If I was a creature, I'd have to probably be I'd be whatever's weak against, like, a grass type, you know? I'd have to, because the pollen just destroys me. So I'd be like a ground type, you know? That's what I would be. So yeah, let's do some little sketch and doodles here, you know? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of instead of, because so originally when I did this Nidoking, it was I did the Fanged Beast style. I'm thinking about we go with a brute wyvern type. You know? Embrace the theropod. So we'll start off with our rough sketches here. I'll get my the old body type down first before we go into the details of things. Shiny Nidoking is one of your faves. It's a solid shiny right there. Sorry I was sick. It's all right, you know. It's okay. I'm recovering. It's just my curse to deal with, you know. We've all got our our weaknesses, you know. Mine just happens to be pollen, unfortunately. And I live in Florida, so the pollen's pretty tough. It's pretty tough out here. Stellar, what up? When I'm making this stream, we're figure we'll revisit some of the old Pokemonster Hunter stuff since we got Monster Hunter Stories 3 coming out tomorrow. So, just to dust off the cobwebs. What's your favorite creature you've ever drawn? People always ask me that. I don't have a favorite creature. I've drawn too many things. Most of them I've forgotten. What are your thoughts on the Gen 10 starters? I can't really judge them until we get all the evolution stages, you know? That's typically what I would wait for. Because typically I don't care too much. Usually the first stage is always kind of fine in my opinion. Usually the first stages are always the best designed. Like consistently the best designed. But we'll see. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Pokemon anymore, so I'm reserving my judgment until we know more. But probably the one I like the most would maybe be... I mean, none of them are stand out to me. Maybe the little fire pup looking thing's probably the cutest, I think. I don't know. What about y'all? What do y'all like about the new starters? What up, Joe? Yeah, figured we'll try out a Brute Wyvern. Try out some different body types here. You decided a name for that second Spinosaurus? No, I have not. Any predictions for the starter types? One of them is going to be a furry. I just hope they're not too humanoid. Is that too much to ask for? I don't even care if they're bipedal. They can be bipedal. Just be bestial, you know? That's all I ask. And don't have these goofy Looney Tunes proportions, you know? That's all I ask. You know, I don't ask too much. I don't ask too much, you know? I don't mind if you stand up on if you're a biped and you stand up on the two legs. That's fine. But let's just keep some of the more animal qualities here, you know? I don't want these overly humanoid cartoon network looking Pokemon, you know? It's basically how I feel. Why is the brute wyvern a non-winged animal and instead a theropod? That's just their classification for Monster Hunter. They call all the different creatures wyverns. Fanged wyvern, brute wyvern, flying wyvern. It's just like their classification doesn't abide by what your stereotypical naming process is of a wyvern. It just kind of, wyvern just means like dragon-like kind of for a Monster Hunter. You're just hoping for no humanoid-looking Pokemon and no firefighting type. Yeah, that's true. Here's my thing. When I saw the Pombon, to me, the top of its head kind of looked like the little red part. It kind of looks like a paintbrush. That was the first thing I thought. So I was like, are they going to turn like the fire one into like a painting, like some sort of painter? I don't know, like a Smurgle thing? I don't know. But who knows? It'd be cool if you know, it turned into some like badass like mastiff type of thing. I don't know. With a giant mane. Kind of hope that none of them are fighting. I think it'd be cool if Brout's final form would be grass steel. That'd be solid. Is there a grass? Yeah, there's grass steel types. So it's like Ferrothorn, right? That's a grass steel type. Plot twist, he's a broom. Yeah. Box of socks. What is up? We all know that Nintendo's gonna make Final Evo be on 2 legs. Yeah, probably. Like, I don't mind if one of them, like, out of the 3, you can have one of them be a bipedal. That's fine. But, like, give me the quadrupeds, man. Come on. What are we doing? I mean, obviously the grass type's gonna be a biped because it's a bird. Unless they do some crazy unique shit and they make the bird be like a quadruped. Have the bird, bro. Have Brout turn into. How sick would this be? Like a bird-looking dragon that walks like a wyvern, like a knuckle walker on all 4s. How sick would that be? What a switch up that would be for Pokemon, right? How cool would that be? You know, take a whole one, like, you know, fool everybody. Everybody thinks it's gonna be, you know, a biped bird, right? So let's switch it up. Let's switch it up, man. Have it be like a bird dragon that walks on all 4s. That'd be sick. But you know they're not going to do that. Come on now. We know this. Will there be a remake of Monster Hunter Tyrantrum? Or like a Deviant? We'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to like remake all of the old ones, but I just wanted to start with like Nidoking. Just because we all love Nidoking, right? Nidoking's one of like the OG Pokemon, and it's one of the best designs to this day. Doesn't get enough love. Never got a Mega. Like, what are we doing here? No Mega Evolution. No like stat boosts. Like, they're doing my dog dirty. Also, I'm thinking about keeping his feet kind of similar to the OG Nidoking, with just like the one big toenail. Maybe we'll do something like that. Or maybe I could make it into like a hoof type of thing. Make it a little more unique than just, you know, your regular T-Rex kind of claws. What would be the gimmick for Gen 10? Who knows? Oh, honestly, the only gimmick I like is Megas. I don't like the, what are they called? Z moves, right? That was one or something. What were they called? And, Sun and Moon, the big special moves. I didn't like that. I didn't care for... G-Max was okay, just because some of the designs were cool. Like G-Max Charizard, of course, was dope. So G-Max was kind of cool, some of the designs. There's a little bit of kaiju theme, right? But, who knows? I really don't care about the gimmick. I just want a game that's high quality, you know? That's high quality and challenging. Give me a game that's got some challenge. Like, you don't need to dumb it down, man. Like, your audience... Like, even if... Let's be real. The average age of, like, the audience of Pokemon... the people who still play Pokemon to this day is, like, early 30s. That's still, like, the largest chunk of your fan base. So it's like, you know, you can try and cater to the games a little bit more. It doesn't have to be, like, for an older audience and, like a mature audience, but make the game, like, not be a joke. So, you know... I'm not, like, my intelligence isn't insulted as I play through it, you know? Because, like, even as, like, a little kid, bro, I was, like, I played, my first game that I owned was Pokemon Yellow, and I had the Game Boy Color, the actual Pokemon Yellow themed version as well. And, like, the older games, they had some challenge to them. They were pretty tough, and I beat that as a toddler. I beat that crap as a kid. So it's like, don't insult the kids of today, making this super easy, you know, baby game. Give some challenge, man. Kids ain't that dumb, man. Kids can pick stuff up quick, especially when it comes to video games. So Mega Z moves, Gigantamax, Terrast. Yeah, the Terrastic crap. I didn't like that. I didn't like the terrestrialization thing. The Z moves were just they're just too powerful. And I just didn't like and also I didn't like the names of a lot of the moves. That's another thing. Like I'm like certain things like that, if you name things like in like a generic or like not very unique or cool sounding way, like I hate it. And like some of the Z moves, like the names of them, like this sounds so lame. Like you have this like over the top animation and like the name of the move is just like garbage. Have you played the new Resident Evil? No, I watched some playthroughs of it though. I always watch Maximilian dude. He's my favorite gamer that I watch. And he typically plays the majority of the kind of games I like anyway, so if it's a game like I'm interested in but not super interested in enough to buy, I'll just I'll watch somebody else play it, and then I'll usually have it playing while I'm working on like art or something. You know, 2 birds with 1 stone. That way I can be productive while still getting to like experience the game in a way, and you know, seeing how well made it is and all that. RE4, both classic and remake, and RE8 are the best of the franchise. Yeah, isn't Resident Evil 4 pretty much considered like the quintessential, like the best Resident Evil game? I think everybody pretty much agrees RE4, right? I will say, the new one, it was cool. The ending was like a little, not like anticlimactic, but the ending was not the best, I guess. It wasn't bad, but I just didn't have like this like great like sense of emotion at the end of the game. And if any of y'all are new here to my channel, my initial sketches I do, they're always pretty chunky and rough. It's how I like it. I like it rough. I didn't like the terraforms because if you wanted to change it, you had to collect a lot of crystals to change it. It was annoying. True. I'm not sure what Pokemon I would like to see get regional forms. There are so many, I feel like it'd be open to anything if the design is good. Hey, Nidoking. How about that? Let's show Nidoking some love. You know what I'm saying? Get my dog Nido King and Nido Queen. Show them some love, man. Show them some love. They need it. They've been neglected for too long. And get rid of that other little Nido sketch. What type for regional Nido King and Queen? Ooh, what do y'all think? What would be a good regional type to switch up for a Nido King and Nido Queen? And are they going to keep one of them? Or are they going to keep like the poison type or the ground type? Like I feel like a steel type could be cool because they're already kind of bulky and tanky looking. So go like make them kind of like little Aggron inspired. That'd be pretty cool, right? Steel type could work. Or dragon type. How dope would that be? A dragon type Nido King and Nido Queen? That'd be pretty sick. Fire ground Nido King based off Baragon? That would be sick. That would be dope. You're right. That's a good call. And I'd be all about it because that's like my favorite type combination. Fire ground. That's lava, bruh. That's that lava. Yeah, Fire Dragon, Dragon Rock. That's another good combo. It's that Tyrantrum combo. You think a new type should be added? The cosmic type? I feel like Fairy got added too recently. Yeah, I mean, I don't really necessarily need a new type. Because cosmic, like that theme, like a lot of psychic type Pokemon could kind of fit into that. Same thing with Fairy. And then you'd have to go back and you'd have to change a bunch of Pokemon's type. Because like Deoxys, for instance, would probably be cosmic. Probably throw like Mew or Mewtwo in there. How late you streaming? Probably just till I finish this. Not super late. So I want to get up early tomorrow and get everything set up and ready because I'm gonna stream Monster Hunter Stories 3. We're gonna be streaming that probably all day tomorrow. We'll see how long I can go. depending on if I need breaks for meals and stuff, you know. Because I'm thinking when I stream the game tomorrow, I might just restart instead of picking up where I left off from the demo. I feel like maybe we just restart from scratch and burn through that intro just to get the whole series kind of continuous and all lined up and everything. So instead of that big absence we had from like a month ago. Regional Tyranitar based off Godzilla, Dragon Water, or Dragon Fire. That'd be cool. They haven't had fossils since they had those fused fossils. Yeah. And those fused fossils were disappointing. I hated that. That's like one of the things I look forward to most with a new Pokemon generation. I'm like, what fossil Pokemon are we going to get? And then we got those abominations. Those abominations. Do you like Charmander? But everybody likes Charmander. I've never met somebody who doesn't like a Charmander. See a box of socks. Careless, a scientist that butchered the poor Galar fossil should have a taste of her own medicine. True. Like, I get the idea that they were going for with it. Like, oh yeah, like when, you know, back when they first were finding fossils, they were mixing and matching and creating these weird things that weren't real, but listen, that's cute and all, but just give me some cool looking creatures. I don't give a shit about that. Give me something that looks cool, alright? That's all I care about. Give me something that looks cool. I don't care about, you know, what your little concept is. If it don't look cool and you don't execute on the concept, then I don't care about the concept. It'd be cool if you could have chosen to put the false fossils together. Yeah, I know. I thought they were gonna like let you do that, but they didn't. Like people drew them, you know, like fans drew what they would look like conjoined, and like obviously they look better. But even then, like I still felt like the pieces when you mashed them up, they still weren't like on that same caliber of coolness that the fossil Pokemon are typically. In your opinion, what Fossilmon dinosaur would the Draco part, the tail be? I don't even remember what is that. The green with the green with like the pink stripes or something. I don't even remember. Listen, honestly, since like the last several generations, like I gave up on like remembering all the names and stuff of the Pokemon. It wasn't worth it to me. Like past gen, I probably know all their names up to like Gen 4 or 5, and then I started falling off and only remembering the names of like the ones I liked. It's too many of them, man. It's too many. Favorite Pokemon gen? Trace, my friend. Generation 3, that is my favorite. To me, that was like peak. To me, that was like the sweet spot of Pokemon designs. They're a little bit more complex, and like some of the concepts of them were like more so than just animals, like the first two generations were. But they weren't overly designed, and they didn't like switch up too much. Even Gen 4 had a lot of cool ones, but even for me, I feel like Gen 4 started slipping with some of the designs. Because Gen 4, like, I remember when I first... Listen, I'm old, guys. I remember back in the day, I used to go... This is before a lot of social media and stuff. The sites I would search up, because I used to be, like super into checking, like, forums, because I was a big-time gamer. I'd always be on forums and, like, all these different sites where you'd get, like, the leaks and all these things, and, or, like, whoever was the most up-to-date with news. So like Cerebi, was it Cerebi.net? That was the website I would always go to. And I remember like they were like the first ones to show for Gen 4 the Palkia and Dialga reveal. And I was like, whoa. I was like, what is this? I was like, this isn't like Pokemon at all. I was like, because like Palkia and Dialga were like way more, their designs were like way more detailed and complex than previous generations. So I was like, whoa, this is something different. They looked cool, but I was like, dude, this is Pokemon? This is strange. So, like, that's kind of when I started feeling like the designs were shifting a little bit from, like, the classic look. But I still like Gen 4. Palkia and Dialga are some of my favorites. But that's just when I started noticing, like, a shift in some of the, like, the consistency with the style of designs. What gen do you think Pokemon designs tanked or nosedived? I think definitely starting at Gen 5 is like when there is like a larger proportion of designs that I really didn't care for. Gen 6 really didn't even have that many. They only added like 67 to the roster. Hey, 6, 7. But Gen 6 introduced my boy Tyrantrum, so Gen 6 got a special place in my heart. Plus, that was the first generation when we got like a mainline like 3D style Pokemon game, so that was pretty, you know, pretty cool shift at the time. But little did I know that they would shift to 3D and then it would just go downhill visually from there. Oh, dude, I'm just reminiscing now in my mind about the good old days of Pokemon when I was a little chitlin. And all I had to worry about was, you know, just school and video games. They were the best of times, let me tell you. They were the best of times. That's like the main reason why I still, well, like Pokemon will always have a place in my heart. And even though like the games nowadays, like I really just not the biggest fan of them anymore. I've still bought every mainline generation game just because I'm like, I have to. I was like, I just have to keep the tradition alive. Every new gen I buy, just to, you know, try to relive a little bit of that, you know, that childhood. But the games just ain't hitting like they used to. You don't think a lot of Pokemon translated well into 3D? Here's the thing. Yes and no. It's just how well they animate them in a way. Because if you look at the games that weren't done by Game Freak, like some of the spin-offs, like Coliseum or like Gale of Darkness, where those were, you know, 3D models, like the Pokemon had a lot of personality to them and movement and stuff, and they looked sick. They looked awesome. So, kind of just a big part of it's just how well they animate them. And that's kind of been the problem with the mainline games. They just, like, I know a lot of people, I don't play Pokemon games because I care about catching them all. Like, how many times can you catch them all? Like, that's like the least appealing part of Pokemon to me. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh wow, you found it in the wild, you caught it with a Pokeball, and you transfer it to your PC, and it just sits there. Congratulations. That's not why I play the games. I play the games because I want to go through the story. I want to progress. I want to see my Pokemon get stronger. I want to bond with them. They need to make a game that actually focuses on the bond between like the trainer and the Pokemon, and add mechanics that have to do with that. You know, that's what they should focus on. Like, the bond you have with these Pokemon. I don't give a shit about catching 1,000 of them and not do anything with them. Quality over quantity. Like, for me, it's about being the Pokemon master, right? Ash Ketchum. Did you ever see Jurassic Fight Club? No, I did not. The battery died in your silver version a few years ago, and I lost all of my first Pokemon I ever had. Dang. Your DS is not working? I still have... hold on. Well, I was going to show y'all all my collection, but for something's going on with my dresser door here. It's stuck. I don't want to break it. I was going to show you all my, I got all my old handheld DS's and SP and stuff. I don't know what's going on. This is strange. There we go, I got it. There we go. Hold on. So, let's see what we got here. So y'all want to know how like OCD I am? So like, here's my 3DS XL. So what I would do, because I'm like OCD and just I hate my stuff getting dirty. This is how I would hold it. It's a piece of like Under Armour, a shirt. So I would literally, this is how I would game, like this. Well, I would have my thumbs exposed to push the buttons, but I'd do this because I didn't want to get fingerprints on it. So that's how I would play. Because I hate smudges. I hate it. So what game's in here? We got Heart Gold. Little Heart Gold right there. Look at this. Y'all want to see the super old stuff? These are my oldest. These are my oldest games. Here we go. Right here. My first ever Pokemon game. Got my name right there on the back. Special Pikachu Edition. Look at this. I even got y'all remember these? Look at this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories. Look at that. What else do I have here? I got Pokemon Silver. Crystal. That crystal meth. That blue. What else do I have in here? Some of my oldest stuff. What is this? Yo, Rampage 2? What's up, y'all? What you know about that Rampage 2? And then this isn't an original Game Boy game. This is a Game Boy Advance. Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu. I'm pretty sure I borrowed this from my friend and I never gave it back. So that's my old... Those are like my oldest Game Boy games right there. And then, hold on, I got my whole box here. Little show and tell, guys. What else we got in here? I've got my... Which one's this? This is the SP. Got this little sucker right here. What y'all know about that? I've got a Nintendo DS Lite. I'm not taking it out because it's in a box. What else? That's my 3DS XL box. And then I got... Alright, hold on. I got... Boom! Got my Leaf Green. on, I got some paperwork in here too, y'all. Hold on. Yo, what do we got in here? What do we got in here, y'all? What do we got in here? Oh. That's nothing. But, oh my god, I got... Man, this stuff's old. This has nothing to do with gaming. These are note cards when I was learning how to play guitar. I was writing out the chords. Oh, here we go. When I used to build my teams, I would do all my internet research, and I would come up with like what their move sets are going to be if I was to play competitively and all that. Memory lane, y'all. We're going down memory lane right here. Quick little break from the drawing. I'm just checking all my stuff out here real quick. I got the box out, so I gotta look at it. You know what I'm saying? Then I got peak childhood moment. I went to Best Buy. I bought Ruby. My older brother got Sapphire. I saw this shit, and I saw that Groudon on that cover. Bro, peak childhood. Then we got Emerald. Even though technically Emerald is a better game than Ruby and Sapphire, just because they fleshed out more stuff and there's more to it. I like Ruby. Ruby has a special place in my heart just because it's Groudon, right? Taking on Groudon. Goated. Then we got Mystery Dungeon. Red Rescue Team. By the way, the Mystery Dungeon series is a great spin-off series, I must say. Then we got Pearl. Pokemon Pearl. And I got my white version and white version 2. Another Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Darkness. But wait, there's more. Super Mystery Dungeon. What y'all know about that? Then we got Pokemon Y. In case y'all haven't noticed, I always buy whatever the red version is, basically, of the Pokemon games. Because they're almost always like a reddish color and then a bluish color, right? And then I got Omega Ruby. Gots to get the Omega Ruby. And we got Pokemon Sun. And then the rest of the mainline games aren't in this box because those are the ones when they started shifting to like the Switch and everything. So this is all my handheld, old handheld games. But yeah, y'all, what y'all know about that collection, y'all? I'm a collector of sorts. So that's why, even though the games aren't as good as they used to be, I kind of still have a soft spot and buy them just because I'm like, I gotta keep the tradition alive, you know? So anyways, back to the art. There's a little show and tell for y'all. How do you add more little details on barren areas, like on the skin, shell, wings? It kind of just depends on what kind of textures you're going for. You can always give like the illusion of certain things. Like I always throw in like extra, like little scribbly lines and stuff. It just depends. It depends on what you're doing. So like, for instance, like with spikes, usually at like the base of spikes, hold on, I'll do like these lighter kind of textured sort of lines like this. All right, so you can see them there. For wings, you could do like veins, you know, stuff like that. I'm personally, I hate drawing all the scales. Like I can do it, I just don't like to do it, so I try to avoid it. So what I'll do is I'll put in like the impression of scales in certain areas, usually around like shoulders, thighs, like knees, elbows, certain areas like that. I'll do like certain chunky scales and then kind of fade them out a little bit. Love your work. Thanks, Raven. I feel like it gets a bit too busy if all the scales are drawn. Some people do them, and like if you're going for a more realistic approach, then you might want to consider doing that, or come up with like a brush. If you're doing digital, come up with like a brush where you can kind of have a cheat code where you can do scales pretty easily. Is it better to take inspiration as a... Is that newbie? Are you trying to say as a newbie? What is NQBI? You saying newbie? Is that what you're trying to say? So what do you mean, is it better to take inspiration? Inspiration, elaborate. Take inspiration from just stuff in general? What do you mean? I mean, everything you do art-wise, you have inspiration. You're inspired to draw something. Yo, chat. Top 5 favorite Pokemon. Haxorus, Tyrantrum, Noivern, Torterra, Koraidon. Yes, you like dragon types. We can tell. Like drawings from other like Google images or from games like Monster Hunter. I mean, I use other stuff as inspiration all the time. Monster Hunter inspires me plenty. I mean, yeah, if you're just starting off, I would say it's always good, like, draw what's already been drawn. Like, do fan art. Depending on what, like, if you want to learn how to design, like, Monster Hunter style creatures, draw the actual monsters from Monster Hunter. and then you'll kind of learn like placement of certain things. You'll kind of learn like their style and like their little tips and tricks and things that they do. And then you'll pick up on that, and then you can use it in your own stuff. And you can apply it. Like I could tell you I could tell you like a little trick for like Monster Hunter, for instance. So like let's say you have, I'm just gonna do a quick sketch. Let's say, hold on. Let's just draw a little very bad looking dinosaur right now, right? One of the ways that Monster Hunter, what they do with like their scales that are plating, they'll separate them. They'll basically divide them into different like sections. You'll have like an underbelly, then you'll have like a middle section, and then you'll have that top section. And then what they'll do, you'll draw your plates in each section like that. And then, you know, maybe on the back it'll get more spiky like that, right? And then this section, you could switch up the pattern a little bit, like this. So your scales kind of go like that. And then this third section, you'll kind of do something similar to the top and do it like this. So this is like a common thing they do with their designs on how they separate different like levels of scales and stuff. So you're not drawing each little tiny individual scale, but you're still getting this impression of something super detailed when all you're doing is just like repeating a pattern over and over. And you can break it up into these different like quadrants basically. So that's something that they do a lot with most of their creatures. If like any of their, you know, actually, yeah, even like their more mammal-based creatures, they usually always have certain like bald spots on the monsters where there's some sort of armored plating or scales and things, and they'll do stuff like that. So that's like a little very easy tip for you to like add a lot of details or patterns and stuff to your creatures. And you can get more elaborate and stuff too, but Now I'll keep it as one sort of hoof-looking thing. Do you still know how to play guitar? Hardly. So all I would learn to do, I never really learned like the basics. All I would do is just YouTube how to play like certain guitar solos and stuff. The most advanced thing I ever learned how to do was play the like the guitar solo part on Scar Tissue by Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's like the most advanced thing I ever learned. And I threw out my electric guitar. I still have my acoustic in the closet. But I started super late. Like had I like been forced to learn how to play a musical instrument when I was a kid, I'd probably be better off because like you could pick things up easier when a kid. And I kind of wish my parents forced me to learn an instrument when I was young. But I didn't try learning the guitar till I was like my late teens. And I was like, dude, I've always had too many interests and hobbies anyways. So it's like I have a million things I want to get good at. So it's like guitar was like too far down the list. Unfortunately, you can't learn everything. You can't be great at everything, you know. You just don't have the bandwidth, don't have the time to do it all. It's always been my problem. A jack of all trades. Very nice art. Low-key, the leg looks like a robot. That's right. A robot. It's kind of how I feel. I have so much I like and want to do and too much that I have to do. It feels extremely difficult to be able to do stuff sometimes. Yep. Yep. It's always been my problem. I try to do too many things and it's like you're better off picking like just a couple things you really like and then just going balls in with that stuff only and just become really good and become an expert at that stuff. It'll serve you better in life. It'll serve you better in life in terms of certain accomplishments. But the thing I like about, being very diversified with my things I'm interested in is I know a lot a lot about a lot of topics and stuff. So certain things can translate from one thing to the next and everything. So there are benefits to it. Do you have any tips for drawing creature heads? I mean, not really, because a creature head could be anything, you know. Every animal has a different type of head. So, just whatever type of creature you're drawing, you need to study something that's similar to it. So, if you're drawing like a dragon, research snakes, different reptiles, different reptile heads, things like that. You know, just depends on what you're doing. Mainly dragons, yeah. Just study reptiles. That's like your entryway right there. Study reptile heads. Komodo dragons, crocodiles. Oh, a good one for snakes. African bush viper. Very exotic. It's got a lot of cool, spiny scales on it. It's very dragon-like. Bearded dragon's a good one. So, just study real-world animals that can pass as like dragon-like. Yeah, I definitely like this version of Nidoking better. The Brute Wyvern version. I also hate looking at that old art. Ugh, I hate it. Ugh, disgusting. Get that out of my face. Any ideas what I should make for prey for Pyrospinus from my fantasy world and Zanarni? Any ideas what I should make for prey? Pyrospinus. What type of environment does it live in? And what is the Pyrospinus? What are some of its ecological traits? Then maybe we could pick something. You'd also study dinosaur skulls. Yeah, dinosaur skulls are great. They mistook dinosaur bones for bones of dragons, or maybe dinosaurs technically are dragons. Maybe that's just the word they used for them back then. Maybe they are the same thing. Because, I mean, like, technically, whoever named dinosaurs, they could have literally just said, these are dragons. Now, they're not fire-breathing, but you could have... Whoever was responsible for giving them that term, terrible lizard, they could have just said, nope, these are dragons. These are different species of dragons. What's the element for this one? Probably no element. It's probably still just gonna have poison for the ailment, just like the other one, because Nidoking's a poison type, so we just stick with the poison. It lives in a volcanic biome. Does the Spino, does it like swim in lava? The Nidobrute looks better than the Nidofang. True. True. It does. You know why? Because Brute Wyverns are the best. That's why. We all know it. It's a completely objective statement. There's no debate. Joe, are you working on any art? I know you're always scheming something when I'm streaming. I know you're always working on something. You got to show me up. What are you working on, Joe? What are you drawing right now, dude? Pyrospinus is also like one of the top predators in the ecosystem. Only outclassed by dragons. Yes, it does swim in lava. All right, so make some lava fish. Or like some sort of lava shark. Just doing some commission stuff. Cobra, jellyfish, snake wyvern. Nice. Yeah, so I still got a batch of commissions I gotta finish up for one of my monthly clients. That looks cool. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you kindly. All right. Got our little liner just about done here. Drawing them colors next. What is the canvas size you use? You also bought my book. Thanks, appreciate the support there, Vladicus. What canvas size? It's usually, I think, yeah, 3840 by 2160 because that's the proportions of the canvas for like a YouTube video. So typically, when I'm working digitally, if I know it's something that I want to make like a YouTube video on, I'd go with this canvas proportions. But sometimes I'll switch it up. Sometimes I'll just use a square. So you know what? Before I do that, let me do my shading. I like doing the shading first. Fun fact about Pyrospinus is that I made sort of a fire counterpart to the Glaciatus Rex, which is an ice T-Rex based off the B-Rex. Nice. Thank you. Your world inspired me to draw your own world map for your world building patch project. Nice. Happy to provide some inspo for you, Vladicus. Vladicus Grimborn. Yeah, like world building, that's like, to me, that's like the best thing. If you're an artist, like, what's better than world building? Like, it's cool to do fan art and stuff, but like making like your own IP with all your own designs and all that kind of stuff, sharing it with the world. I love drawing creatures. They always end up so cool. Drawing creatures is the best. What's your favorite Pokemon you design in a Monster Hunter style? Swampert. Oh, Swampert. The Swampert I did is probably like the most Monster Hunter looking of all of them that I've done. Like, it looks like straight out of Monster Hunter. Not to brag, but I'd probably go back and redraw that one too just for fun. But I don't think I'd really adjust much. I would just slightly update it. Like, a lot of, like, there's like a lot of Pokemon that I think can translate pretty well to that style. Swampert's one of them. I think Nidoking is too. Do you have plans on making another book? Eventually. I don't want to rush it though. That's the thing. I'm not like, it's not like my main goal right now. I still need to, once I finish on fleshing out enough of the world that I want to get done, like especially with like characters and some of their backgrounds and all that kind of stuff, then I'll start piecing together what the next book's gonna have in it. Because I want it to be a full-on, like, I kind of want it to be like a compendium, but I also kind of want it to be, like, I want to have different sections. Like, I'll have some stuff where it's like, sort of like a sketchbook in a way, where like I'll show like different rough sketches, and I'll put like little notes of like my own personal thoughts and ideas of like how I came up with some stuff maybe, and then I'll have like the actual legit, like, this is the finalized thing, this is this character's lore, their background, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Like a massive art journal for the world. Try to finish this up within 15 minutes so we hit the 2-hour mark exactly. We'll see. See how this goes here. All right. Have you ever considered doing some non-animal looking Pokemon as Monster Hunter? I think it'd be cool to see how you interpret them. I've thought about it. I tried doing some non-animal looking ones. What was I trying to do? Well, I mean, I guess technically I did do Metagross, which I think I did that. I was what a Temnos. What was it? Neopterin. I think I did Metagross as a Neopterin. Trying to think like what else. Like, I forgot, like, a lot of the ones I did back in the days. Man, how long ago was that? It was like 2 years ago. 2+ years ago when I started that series. Probably closer to 3 at this point. Kirby as a Monster Hunter? If I was to do Kirby, I would probably make Kirby an amphibian. Big old fat toad. The only problem with Kirby is, like, there's, like, literally... like almost no like details to Kirby. It's just a pink ball with like little arms and a pair of round eyes and a little smiley face and somewhat red shoes. So you definitely have to add a lot. I'll have to like go through. I'll have to like just pull up like the Pokédex and look through them all and see. Usually what I'll do is like I'll just look through stuff and then I'll just wait till like an idea hits me, like a little spark of something, like an idea triggers. I'm like, all right, cool, got something I can do with that. I typically don't like to just sit down with like 0 ideas beforehand and just start drawing. I typically don't do that. Usually I'm like out and about doing something else and like maybe an idea or something popped in my head. I'm like, okay, I'll draw that tonight or something. Cause like my ideas flow the most when I'm like walking around, especially. If I'm like stationary, not doing much, just sitting around, I usually don't have like the creativity's not flowing as much. But like I'm one of those people, I don't like to sit still. Like I'll just pace around the house and I'm just like thinking about stuff. That's like honestly, that's when like most of my ideas and things come from. Once I start getting that little flow going, I'll just be pacing around the house and I'm just like, yeah, I'll start thinking. Like if you watched me, you'd be like, dude, this guy's nuts. Like this guy's like, Everybody always used to be like, stop pacing around, you're making me nervous, which I never understood that. I'm like, why you get nervous from me pacing around? All right? Why is that making you nervous? It's got nothing to do with you. I can't walk around? But, yeah, go for walks. It's my best advice there for coming up with ideas. Go on a little walkabout. Do you have any advice for world building? Like, what are the main things anyone should focus on the most? It depends on what kind of world you're building. First thing I started off with was just the creatures. Because I like creatures, so that's what I started with. But I would say figure out what kind of world you want to do in terms of, is it going to be fantasy? Is it going to be like sci-fi? Like, what kind of setting are you going for? You know? Do a randomizer if you want some challenge. Yours the opposite. You got to deal with flow when you're shitting. Nice. No, when I'm shitting, I'm in and out, bro. I'm in and out in like 2 minutes tops. I go in there, I handle my business, and I'm out. I don't know how people like to just sit on the toilet, man. My fucking legs go numb if I do that. Like, that like cuts off circulation. Yeah, I don't like to sit, man. My back gets tight and everything. Tall people problems, man. Them lower back, them lumbar issues. I do not like sitting. Like, honestly, like right now, like after this is done, I'm telling y'all how this goes. As soon as the stream's done, I go like this. I get up, I'm like, ugh, ugh. And I gotta like slowly walk and stretch out a little bit. I'm like, ugh, ugh. Yeah. No bueno, it's not fun. All right. Let's get that old undercarriage colored up. For your fantasy world, Enzinar, should I add aliens to it, as their lore is that they crash landed on a meteor millions of years ago and evolved to look similar with the other creatures of my world? I mean, if that's part of the lore, you already got the aliens, so why not? As a gnome-sized person, you can't relate. How tall are you, Joe? How tall are you, dude? Are you 5? What are you, 5'7"? Let's go with 5'7". Are you 5'7", Joe? Or are we talking like 5'4"? Although y'all probably don't even measure in inches, right? Y'all don't use feet and inches. You probably do what? Meters? What's y'all's measurement you use over there, Joe? I'll Google it. 168 centimeters? Alright, I'm Googling it. Five five. I was close. So you're an inch over 5'4". 5'5". Let's see. So you are, let's see, compared to like people in my family, you're 2 inches taller than my mom. But you're 2 inches shorter than my sister, my older sister. What's my height converted to centimeters? Hold on, Joe. Let me tell you. Let's see. So, Joe, I am... Okay, so... No, I don't want 6. Hold on. 6'3" in centimeters. I'm 190.5 centimeters, I guess. So I am 6'3". I'll bump my head on the door frame there? Probably. I'll be like... I'll be like Gandalf when he's walking into Frodo's little hobbit hole. Hitting my head on the chandelier. Bink. Speaking of hobbit holes, I'd love to go visit the little shire they built out there in New Zealand. That would be dope. Seeing that stuff, that'd be sick. Oh yeah, speaking of, oh yeah, Joe, since you're in Indonesia, um what do you and speaking of hobbits, what about the Flores man, that myth y'all got over there? Is it real, Joe? Was it Homo florensis, whatever you call it? The Flores men? The extinct species of small archaic humans in Flores, Indonesia? Do they still exist, Joe? Deep in the jungles? Hidden from the rest of civilization? You want to have a mixture of a log cabin and a hobbit hole for a house? Yeah, that'd be sick. You do excellent work. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Cause I remember, I think it was Indonesia where they, somebody supposedly filmed like they were riding like down like a dirt road on like one of the little mopeds, and like there's like a quick shot of like a little person running across, and like the people are saying, oh, maybe they're still alive or something. I remember seeing that. I've seen that video pop up a few times back in the day. I mean, it'd be sick if we had some other humanoid species still around, you know? That'd be dope. All I got is my little 2% Neanderthal DNA in me. The last remnants of a bygone era. What color eyeball do we go with here? A little orange, maybe a little yellowish. The contrast with the perp. Yellow and purple is usually a good little contrast. Live alongside the Megalonia, the ancestor of the Komodo. People have been saying them see them from time to time. Yeah. I wish Bigfoot was real. I wish Loch Ness Monster, Mokila Mbembe, that'd be sick. Some of them cryptids, that'd be dope. It would be dope. Instead, we're left with boring stuff. True. Want them fairies and dragons? Yeah. Do you ever think that some reptiles of today would have descendants in the future that resemble dragons? Do you ever think that some reptiles of today would have descendants in the future that resemble dragons? I mean, if the world's still around, if the world hasn't been destroyed by then, you know? Who knows? Trying to think what could evolve into like a something more dragon-like. I mean, I doubt anything would be like a European dragon where it has 6 limbs, you know, like wings with like 4 limbs, maybe some sort of wyvern type thing. Because I mean, we already have like lizards and things that, you know, have some like membranes and stuff from like their armpits and everything. So I mean, I could see them something fully turning into like a wyvern type of thing, right? I could see it. Search up Xenodermis. All right, Joe, I got you. I'm on the case, dude. Xenodermis. Oh yeah, yeah. They got them, bro. They got them little dragon. Oh, dude, you know what that reminds me of? The its scales. It kind of reminds me of that dang Leviathan from Monster Hunter Wilds, the tunneling one. What's it called? The long worm-looking thing that tunnels. That's what its patterns, like the black. It's got sick patterns on it, dude. Snakes are dope, bro. Snakes are so cool. Yeah, Balahara. Yeah. Oh, Balahara. Yeah, it's Balahara. You're right. You're right. Good call, no love. Good call. Trying to think if I should add any more sort of color variation to it. Maybe around the tail. Maybe do like some rings around the tail. Some more like brightly colored looking rings to give it more of that poison sort of feel to it. Like that. A little bit like that. Imagine if it can go as big as an anaconda. That'd be sick. Big old fat green anaconda. My favorite. What's the what's that one Godzilla lizard called? Let me look it up. Not the marine iguana. I hate how that's always the thing that comes up. It's like a little one. I always forget its name. Where you at, bruh? Where you at? Earless monitor. Look up an earless monitor. That's like a little drake right there, dude. Those things are cool. That's what that snake kind of reminds me of, Joe. The earless monitor. That'd be a cool little pet to have. That one is a straight up dragon. Yeah, imagine it. Yeah, dude, imagine if the earless monitor was the size of a Komodo dragon. Yo, that'd be dope, dude. That'd be sick. They're cool looking, man. They just got those bumpy scales. They just hit different, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you what, they hit different. I like his little snout, too. Alright. I might add like a little bit of highlight. Normally I don't. Normally I like being lazy. But we'll add a little bit, I guess. Just some little touches of highlights, you know? Not much. Just a little bit. A little here and there, you know, nothing fancy. Nothing over the top. Bang, bang, boom. There we go. There's a little Nidoking, guys. There's a little Brute Wyvern, man. There's a little Brute Wyvern Nidoking in all its glory. I like your art, man, and also thank you for inspiring me to make my own world. For the first time, I've been improving it and watch your videos when I draw. Nice. Toon Studios. Happy to inspire some folk out there, you know? Some creators. In a world filled of consumers, be a creator, you know? There's one badass Brute Nidoking. Hope there'll be more Pokemonster remakes, especially Tyrantrum. Yeah, I'll probably do some more remakes. Just to switch it up. I don't want to just always do the Colgrass stuff on my YouTube channel. I need more diversity, you know? I'm gonna branch off and do some other stuff. Speaking of new gen Pokemon, it is based in Southeast Asia, mainly Indonesia. Oh, I didn't know that. Malaysia and Philippines. Quite excited to see what. Yeah, so maybe, dude, maybe that means they'll have a Komodo dragon themed. Maybe the pseudo legendary dragon of the region will be inspired by a Komodo dragon. That'd be cool, right? That could be something. There we go. Definitely a better looking Nidoking. Definitely, man. We're getting there. We're growing. What y'all think? What y'all think? Oh, man. Better? Yeah. I definitely like it more. Definitely more Monster Hunter feeling. Definitely more the Monster Hunter vibes to it. It's fun to draw too, you know? Definitely better. Yeah. Thanks to the general consensus there, folks. Think we have an improvement. Think we have a winner. We have a winner. Oh, my back. My back. I'm getting elderly. But, yeah, not too shabby, folks. Turned out pretty solid. But, alright, y'all. Not a good time to call it. For those of you who are still watching, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like I said, I'll be streaming. I'll be live streaming Monster Hunter Stories 3 starting tomorrow. I'm probably going to do it start in the morning. So actually, as soon as I get off here, I got to design a couple thumbnails and stuff to have locked and loaded for the live streams. So we'll see how long we go. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just try and crank it like 5-hour streams or what to get it all in there, but I'm looking forward to it. Getting some gaming stuff up on the channel, some more Monster Hunter stuff. It'll be fun. So swing on by tomorrow, folks, because I'll be streaming. But all right, y'all. It's been fun. Thanks for coming by, chilling, keeping me company while we doodle here. Yeah. See you soon. Deuces.